Yes, people, hello and welcome back to the channel. Listen, Champions League draw has officially just happened. The Meisters. She was so beautiful to hear once again. Draw has officially just happened. Tottenham's fixtures are in. Everybody's fixtures are in, but today I want to try and focus on Tottenham Hotspur's fixtures and see what the future looks like for us. What does the Champions League have in store for us? Because I can't lie to you, this draw has left me with a bit of a smile on my face, and let me show you why exactly. Here on the screen, I'm sure you could see the teams that Tottenham will be playing this season. As you can see, Dortmund at home, PSG away, Villarreal at home, Frankfurt away, Slavia Prague at home, Bodo Glimt away, Copenhagen at home, and Monaco away. Those are the 8 teams Tottenham will be playing this season in the Champions League. And let's go through a couple of these fixtures and just kind of see maybe what's in store for us this upcoming season. Make sure you guys go and check out CultureCams' channel as well. We will be doing a preview on the whole kind of draw as a totality. But then Dos Locos as well is back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when Champions League football's back, me and the boy have to get back together and do what we do best on Dos Locos. But let's talk about these Tottenham fixtures, shall we? Now, Dortmund, they are the first team that got drawn out. We will be playing them at home. And believe it or not, we have never, ever lost to Dortmund in the Champions League. We've played each other 4 times. And I believe in the 18-19 campaign, we played each other in the round of 16 where we won 3-0 at home, but then also winning 1-0 at the Signal Iduna Park. Then we also played each other in the 17-18 campaign in the group stage where we won 3-0 at home, but then also winning 2-1 at the Signal Iduna Park. So we've gone to that yellow wall, as they call it, twice, and actually won twice in the Champions League. And they've also come to us twice, and we've beaten them in the Europa League. That's a different story, you know what I mean? There was a year before that where we don't talk about what happened there. But in the big stage, with the brightest lights, where the big dogs turn up, we have turned up every time we have played Dortmund. So, in my opinion, honestly, as much as people would look at this draw and think, oh, Dortmund, that's going to be a tough fixture, I actually look at this Dortmund team, and I think it might be the worst Dortmund side I've probably seen in the past 15 years or so. Don't get it twisted. I still think there's talent within this squad. Guys like Guirassy, who is an absolute goal scorer. Joe Bellingham's just moved there over the summer, but he's coming up from the Championship. You've got Karim Adeyemi over there. Pascal Gross, who's 33, is a regular week in, week out over there. So I look at their squad and I'm just not really moved or impressed. Like, Dortmund are historically known as like a team that always scout well, get the next young talents coming up, and I don't know, they've just been very hit and miss over the last couple of years. I mean, they've got a back three of Ben Sebaini, Anton, and Filippo Mane. Not really, worried about that in all honesty. And then on the flanks, I'm seeing Svensson and Kuto are kind of the main options there as well. This Dortmund team doesn't concern me. I look at our historical record. We've always seemed to got the better of them in this competition. This, with it being at home as well, this is a game that I would look at and think, you know what, I'm expecting 3 points on the board. Now, after that, Paris Saint-Germain away at the Parc des Princes. I would have it no other way. I want to get my lick back. We must get our lick back. Now, how possible that is, I don't know, because I'll be real with you. Look, we played them obviously a couple of weeks ago. I think that was actually the first time we played each other in competitive competition. And as much as I want to walk away from that game and say, look, Luis Enrique said we were the better team. We took them all the way to the end. It was a 2-2 draw. They won on penalties, whatever it is. We had 6 weeks of preseason. They had literally none. They were playing the World Cup, went on a 2-week break, and that was literally their first game back in. I think they only started training a couple of days before that. So it's a possibility. Now, we may have caught PSG a little bit cold and made them look a bit worse than what they actually would have been. I say that to say, the PSG that we're going to play in the group stage is not the PSG that I'm expecting that we played in the Super Cup. And I think, look, the Super Cup, I would have loved to have won it. It wasn't to be. Bit of quality came out in the end. It is what it is. We move. However, to, go to the Parc des Princes and play PSG once they've got that rhythm, once they're firing on all cylinders, that could be scary. I'm not going to lie to you, brothers. That could be a scary one. That is the only one of our fixtures that I'm looking at as like, you know what? We may not get the 3 points here. And if we do get a draw, I will be very content with that, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to the Parc des Princes in my head thinking 3 points. As much as I want to get our lick back, and as much as I want to go there with a bit of, revenge in our hearts, I hope we can spring a surprise. I hope Thomas Frank can do another tactical masterclass like he did in the Super Cup, playing the back three for the first time. Kudus and Richarlison in the front two, unexpected, and it worked to a T. We had them back and forth throughout the whole game, defending well, chasing them high up, winning the ball, counter-attacking them. And I hope we're going to have to rely on kind of the similar tactics once we go over there. So I really hope Thomas Frank has one of his genius game plan ideas, and we can hopefully pull out 3 points. If we can't, let's try and walk away with a draw. But this is one game on the list that I won't be expecting too much on. Next up, we're looking at Villarreal at home. And to be fair, I was just researching it before I started this video, and I don't think we've actually played each other in any competitive football. The only thing I could kind of find was a friendly going back to 2010, where we lost 4-1, ironically. So we absolutely got battered. Now, so far this season, I think they've played 2 games, won 2 games, scoring 7 goals, 0 conceded so far. Made a couple of interesting signings as well. They signed out Weirdo from the other side of North London, Thomas Partey. Renato Vega was another interesting signing that they made as well. But they are a well-built team I've always seen, Villarreal. They're one of those kind of European stalwarts. Whether they're in the Europa League, they're going to go on a deep run. If they're in the Champions League, they're never really an easy game. Very technical side who I think could be tough, but I think it's favourable the fact that we're playing them at home. Now, this is a game that I'm hoping is not a banana skin. Obviously, them being yellow, that's a little bit funny as well. But I would love it if we could just make this game really comfortable. The tricky ties in our fixture list you're looking at is basically Dortmund at home, PSG away, Villarreal at home, and then of course you've got Frankfurt next as well. But if the hardest games in your selection are Dortmund, PSG, and Villarreal, okay, the PSG one we can write off. The other two though, I want us to make a real, a win out of those, because both fixtures being at home as well. Listen, get these boys in yellow. We're gonna beat them black and blue, black and yellow, black and yellow. You know what I'm saying? But as I mentioned just a second ago, next up we are having a rekindling. We are having a reintegration of last season, because we play Frankfurt and Bodo Glimt away. Now, those of you, of course, who remember this, let me get this out. Oh, there it is. Oh. Those of you who remember this glorious campaign of the Europa League 2025, we played Frankfurt in the quarterfinals, beating them 1-0 at their ground as well, and then, of course, going back to our ground and 1-1 draw. But the 1-0 win at their ground was really, for me, the first eye-opener of we can actually go on to win this. Ange, for the first time, had learnt how to defend. In about 18 months of managing, I hadn't seen him have a defensive bone in his body. But that game, he tactically came out and changed us apart. And defensively, we put on an absolute clinic. And that was the game where I was like, oh, we managed to nullify Ekitike. We played really well. We defended really well, which is not something Tottenham were known for last season. And it was like, Frankfurt ain't as good as I thought. Now, this season, they've lost Marmoush, they've lost Ekitike, and look, they brought in Elia Wahi, who for me is not of the same caliber as those two. Still a good player, but I still think we should be going away there and potentially winning. I know the Commerzbank Arena, I think it's called, tough arena, great atmosphere. Bundesliga atmosphere, always do that. They turn up in the 100% capacity. But the football's played on the pitch, brothers. And I look at our squad and I compare it to their squad and I'm like, we have a better squad. We went there just last year and we won, no problemo. Hey, man, you and Bodo, put the 3 points in the bag for me. And Bodo, listen, credit to you, semi-final. You try and make a little tussle of it. 3-1, slap them at home. And then it was easy 2-0, I think it was at their ground. But back-to-back away clean sheets for both of those, in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. And now we're playing them in the group stage again. Come on, man. This is just... the whole week should just be replays of the fixtures we played last year. And in my eyes, we should be walking away with 2 victories, even though they're being played away. We've shown we can do it. Why not show me you could do it again? But last 3 games, that we will be playing as well. Slavia Prague at home. Now listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know too much about a Czech Republic team. Slavia Prague are always one of those teams that are in Champions League, in the Europa League. Them and Copenhagen in particular. Copenhagen as well, they've lost their best player, Rooney Bargi, who some of you remember scored an absolute banger against United a couple seasons back. He's gone over to Barcelona now, and that's a big, big loss for me. All my FM guys, you know what a star boy he was for them. But the Slavia Prague and Copenhagen games in particular, they're both at home. Those are ones I feel like we have to watch out for complacency. We can't afford to think the game is already won before we've even played them. Just because they're from Czech Republic, just because they're from Denmark, and you think, these aren't really 2 top sides, we should be able to play the B team. Champions League, brother. I don't want to be seeing no B team lineups. I don't want to be seeing none of that. You could rotate a couple of positions here and there, but it needs to be... I need Tottenham to really come out of this group stage. I said it in my 5 things I expect before the season started. Get out of the group stage. There is no point getting through the back door of the Europa League. You had one of the worst league campaigns ever. You almost kind of like, literally backdoored your way into the Champions League. Don't make it for nothing. Don't be here just to make up the numbers. Because for me, I feel like we've got a manager good enough. We've got a squad good enough. And I look at this draw. And I'm like, we should be able to get multiple wins here in order to get us out of it. Last but not least, in the draw that came out was Monaco away, which could be a tricky one. Similarly, like Villarreal, in my opinion. I think they've got talented players, in my opinion. Achliuch, who you lot have heard me speak about plenty on this channel. Ilyas Ben-Seguir as well. 2 players that I've said I would love to see them at Tottenham. But then also, the main man, Paul Pogba, has just landed there as well. And... hasn't played too much of a part, but I imagine by the time that game comes around, he'll be in the full swing of the season. So, Eric Dyer, let's not forget, former Spurs boy, of course, being at Monaco now as well. He is, I'm sure, going to want to have a good game against us. But if there's one thing about Eric Dyer, we know who you are, brother. We know you inside and out, yeah? So we gonna make sure you're the weak link in that game. But hopefully not too tricky for Spurs, in my opinion, this game. I'm looking at it similar way with Villarreal. It's an away fixture, which is what makes it more tough for me. The Stade Louis II isn't the craziest atmosphere or known for its noise exactly. So that isn't going to play too much of a part. But it's just a case of those few gems that they have in the squad. I hope we don't go in there complacent thinking, you know what, Monaco aren't what they used to be. And, they ain't got Mbappe and Falcao and James and all these guys. They've still got dangerous weapons. And if we go in there thinking, we could play there in gear 2, gear 3, trust me, it'll be a long, long day. But the way I'm looking at this group, we've got 8 games here. I count 5 wins. That's a win against Dortmund, a win against Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, Slavia Prague, Copenhagen. You know what? Make that 6 wins, actually. Monaco as well. That's 6 wins. That's 18 points. 18 points out of 24. Yes, almost got my math wrong there. With 1 draw, I've allowed potentially to Villarreal. I can see that one. I don't know what it is about the Villarreal game. I just feel like they're going to be a weird banana peel. And then I think the PSG game we could potentially lose as well. But I'll be content with that. I think 18 points is more than enough to get you out. I think usually if you get above 15 or so, you should qualify. But 5 wins out of 8 games, and that is Dortmund win, Frankfurt win, Bodo win, Slavia win, Copenhagen win, Monaco win. A draw at Villarreal, and maybe a loss at PSG. A draw at PSG would then make it an unbeaten campaign. Let me not get too gassed. But that is all for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on what you think the group stage is going to turn out like for Tottenham Hotspurs. Let me know what you think about your team's group stage as well, if you support another side as well. But Spurs fans, let me know, what do you think the winnable games are in here? What do you think the tough games will be here? What do you think the tests will be within each game as well? Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you check out CultureCams' channel as well. We are doing a Dos Locos review on the group stages. make sure you keep your eyes out for Dos Locos throughout the season as well. There will be plenty more content coming, guys. Stay tuned. I will catch you guys in the next video. Till then, take care.